Hey guys, so this video is basically going to be like a step-by-step tutorial on how to get that HTML website appear on our screen like we talked about in class. So if you're having trouble or you want to refresh your memory about what we did or just slow it down a little bit, this video is a really great tool to use, and I'll just go through each individual step and it'll be a lot clearer and you'll hopefully get a better idea of what's going on. So the first thing I want you guys all to do is open up Notepad. So to open up Notepad or even find it, just go on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and click on it. So now as you can see, maybe yours looks slightly different than mine, but there should be probably a search bar or something that you can use to type in Notepad. So it should come up and it should be a desktop app or something, and it should look something like this. So Notepad is basically the application we're going to use to type up all our HTML code. So the good thing about Notepad is it doesn't have any metadata with it. Metadata is basically all the other code used to make an application. It's just the text. So it's a really good way to start typing up our code and getting it to appear on our screen. So just think of this as like an editor or a place to type your code. So now once you're here, it's time to start coding. So everyone knows that the first piece of code in any HTML document is doctype HTML. And then the next piece of code would just be HTML, right? So once you have that, let's just get some basic stuff going. So we can kind of compare an HTML document to like a body or a person, right? So first it starts with the head. So we're going to put the head tag. And we know that within the head comes a title. So let me just clarify something about the title while we're at it. Title doesn't actually just show up on your actual website. It's more of a name for that document. So a way I like to compare it is, you know, in a Microsoft Word document, when you're saving it and it says to choose a title or name it something, that's basically what we're doing here. We're giving this code a title or like a name to identify it as. So I'm going to give this title my first website. Name it whatever you want, it doesn't really matter, and remember just to end title. In the head, I don't want to add anything else at this moment, so I'm just going to end the head off. And I'll just give you guys a minute to type up out that code. Just notice how we first have the document HTML, and now we have the head. So after the head comes the body, right? Just type in body, and what goes inside the body? Well, headings go inside the body, and the paragraphs go inside the body. So let's first start with the simple heading, just to see how this is going to work. So heading, it would not be like this, no, it would just be H1. So heading H1 is basically the largest heading that you can make. H1 basically, it's one out of the 6 different heading options, and it basically gives you the biggest heading possible. So now just do a heading, and this heading will actually come up on your screen, and I'm just going to name it my HTML website. And then I'm just going to close it off with the backslash and H1, and there we go, I have my heading. Now, I'm just going to type in a paragraph, and we all know that in order to do that, we would just use the P tag. And this is a paragraph. And just end off the P tag. And there we go. So, right now I'm just demonstrating. You can obviously add more or less words as you feel like. I'm just going to show you the different functions and tags that we use for this. So, I'm just going to end off the body like we always should. And then I'll also end off the HTML. And so there I go. I have a simple, nice looking code. So I'm just going to do something. So on the top of your screen, you should see something like this. So go to File and Save As. So now this is where we're giving this file a name. So I'm going to do HTML. No, let me name it website 1.7. I don't know, I just made that up. But also remember that after that, just put a .html. So have whatever name you're going to use, and then do .html. And this is basically going to tell the computer that this is an HTML file. And when it says save as type, just do as all files. Now, there may or may not be an encoding on your screen. So this is basically going to tell the computer what kind of language you use to code this. And basically this is going to tell the computer that it's English. So once you're done that, just click on save. Now you must be like, where's the website? So just go back here and go to My Computer. So once you're in My Computer, just go to Documents, and hopefully your thing comes up. If it doesn't, try looking for it, but if you can't find it, just raise your hand and I'll try to help you out. So now just double click on it, and there we go. I have my heading right up here, and I have my paragraph. That's a pretty good start, right? Okay, so now let's just do some of the things I talked about earlier, right? Getting some stuff in bold, italics, and making some things smaller too. So go back to your code, and I'm just going to do this in my paragraph because the heading's already bolded, and I'm just going to do a B tag. So B is just the bold tag. So I'm just going to end the B, and there we go. So as you can see, it's just like any other tag. I would just put it within the paragraph. And now I'm just going to go back to File, Save As, Save, and yes, I do want to replace it. So I'm just going to go back to my website, refresh, and now you can see it's now bolded. Cool. So now I have my bold stuff. Now let's try to get it italics. So you may be wondering, well, what kind of tag I'm going to use for this? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to be an I. I stands for italics. And I'm just going to put a \I. And just notice I got my starting italics tab and my ending. So I'm just going to go back to File, Save As, go to Save, and yes, I do want to replace it. And just refresh it again, and hopefully your thing is in italics. So as of now, we've done the bold and italics, and now we're going to add small in too. So small, you just don't type S, you type S-M-A-L-L, spelling out small, and then I'll just do the N small. So now we can see that this is a paragraph. That set of words is bold, italics, and small. So now I'm just going to go to File, Save As, and remember what we did before. And yes, I want to replace it. Go back, refresh, and now you can see the words are small. So those are just three fun tags that I thought you might find useful when you're making a website. It's nice to be able to bold things, make things smaller, and make things italic. So now we're going to get to the fun part. And now we're going to learn how to incorporate some CSS to make our web page colorful and nice looking. So the first thing we're going to talk about is inline CSS. So this is used to apply a unique style to a single HTML element. Meaning if I just want my heading to have something different than the rest of my document, I would use my inline CSS. So let me do a text color inline CSS. So when you have H1, right after H1, within the H1 tag, type in H1 style. And the style signifies that you're starting some CSS stuff in it. And then I'm going to do equals, in quotes, color, and I'm just going to do blue. And then I'm just going to do this semicolon thing, end quotes, and there we go. So within the H1, I just have this style piece. And this is basically to make my heading blue. So let's see if it actually worked. Go to File, Save As, Save, and yes, I do want to replace it. I'm going to go here, refresh, and now you can see it's blue. Okay, let's do this with the paragraph too. So I'm going to go here under paragraph, and I'm going to do paragraph style equals, in quotes, color. Let's see, let's just do red, it's simple. Semicolon, end quotes, and there we go. Let's see if it actually worked. File, Save As. Yes, I do want to replace it. Go back here, and now this is a paragraph as well. Okay, so that's pretty basic. Let's see what else we can do with it. So the next thing I'm going to teach you guys is internal CSS. Internal CSS is used to define a style for a single HTML page. So now we have the whole page that's going to use these elements. So it's defined in the head section of an HTML page within a style element. So I know it might sound confusing right now, but basically, see right here you have head. You're going to make a set of code within the head. So in order to do that, we're going to click on enter, and now we're going to do a style tag. This is basically telling the computer that some CSS code is coming next. So do body. This is telling the computer that I want my body to look this certain way. So now this is where the difference between HTML and CSS comes in the way that it looks. So instead of these caret bracket things, I'm going to use this. It's like the curly brackets, and I'm going to do background / color is going to be, let's just say, powder blue. So I just said it was powder blue, but you can do whatever color you want. You can do pink, purple, green, red, whatever you want. And then I'm just going to end off the curly brackets. So this is basically telling the computer that I want my background to be powder blue. Okay. How about maybe telling the computer every time I want a heading, I want it a certain color. So I'm just going to do H1 color blue. Okay. And this got the semicolon thing, and then end the curly bracket. Just one more. Let's do the paragraph. Paragraph color red. And going back. So now there's no need for me to do this stuff. So I can just delete all the code, because the computer already knows. We already told it that we want the heading to be blue up here, the paragraph to be red. So the difference between this stuff and this stuff that we put here is that the code within the head, this stuff right here, it can be applied to any single heading that I put within the HTML document. Oh yeah, since the style tag, I have to end the style tag. Sorry about that, as we do with most HTML tags. And let's see how this turned out. So file, save as, and replace it, and then go back here, refresh, and there we go. So now I have a background color and this set of heading and paragraph. So let's try to play around with the colors now. I encourage you to change the color. Instead of blue, do maybe pink and purple and maybe, I don't know, gray. So just go file, save as, and let's see how this stuff works. There we go. Okay, maybe it's not the most beautiful website, but you do get the point. Maybe I'm going to try light gray instead. Okay. Oh, no. Well, as you can see, I'm not a... Yeah, okay. So basically, you get the idea. I now know how to make my code bold, italics, and I know how to add some CSS code into it, as well as making the text smaller. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand and I'll come around, but hopefully this clarified a few of the things.